Hey guys, welcome to today's Vehicle Visionary. I know recently I featured a 2020 Dodge Challenger Hellcat here on the Vehicle Visionary YouTube channel, but as you can see, this is a 2016 model, and I had a request recently to do more used vehicles, and I figured, well, why not start right here? So we're going to take a quick look at this particular model, and the main thing we're going to do is really just focus on how it drives, because obviously a lot of people who would want to buy something like this, well, that's what they're going to want to know. Let me find the button for opening the trunk here so we can take a look in there. Of course, there's the floor mats and all that good stuff, and you actually can maximize your cargo space. I'll put the numbers on the screen if you wanted to use that for a road trip or whatever the case may be. Of course, there is the rear view camera right there. And I do like the fact that you have the black rear spoiler right here. Of course, you've got the 20-inch wheels, 9.5-inch wide tires. And of course, the heart and soul of this 707 horsepower machine is what we're going to take a look at real quick. Now, this is, like I said, a 2016 model, as you can see on the windshield right there. You get the hood open here. Has a little over 18,000 miles on it. I borrowed it from my friends at Land Rover of Shreveport. Of course, there's the 6.2 liter V8, 707 horsepower, not shy on power at all. Nice, wide and large front splitter. Got a lot of air going in. And one thing I'll notice here that's a little bit different than the last model I looked at, you had one side on the hood that was open and the right side was not, or the left side from where we're looking right here at least. But I like the fact that both of these are open, and I guess that might have changed over the course of a few years. But everything basically the same here. The model I did from Hebert's Town and Country a while back was making 717 horsepower, and it was a wide body Hellcat. This, of course, not being a wide body, but as you can see here, the interior is nice and clean, and I'm sure the dealership cleaned it up some, but just by the way things look, I'm pretty sure that the previous owner took great care of this model. Now, one thing you'll notice here is I do not have the red key fob. That means I don't have all the horsepower available to me. In fact, here's what we can do. We can go and customize everything. It tells me right there I've got 500 horsepower available, which is not a big deal. That's plenty of power. Don't have the 707 available to us, but this was the only remote available in the kiosk at the dealership. But you can go in and make a few changes. As you can see, these don't have anything on them, so you can't change the power, you can't change how the transmission works, but you can change the way the paddle shifters, if they do or don't work. All I'm going to do is click on that right there, and that's on. And we can change traction to sport or track if we want to. And of course, we can also change the suspension to sport. I'm going to do that. And of course, everything here that you would expect. We're not going to go through a full tour of the interior. I mainly just want to get out on the road and let you hear what this sounds like and have a little fun. Mainly see how it handles and how the transmission functions. Like I said, this is a used model, a little over 18,000 miles. So it's not really too bad. For a 2016 model, whoever had it previously, I think did a really good job of taking care of it. So obviously acceleration, not a problem here. And as you saw, I don't have the red key fob, so we're not using all 707 available horsepower or whatever is actually going to the ground. I realize that isn't what's actually put to the ground. But even with 500, I can tell that I believe the previous owner of this Hellcat took great care of it. And if you're looking for a vehicle like this and thinking, well, should I buy a used one? Should I buy a brand new one? Here's what I would be looking for. Number one, handling. Now, you have to understand how a vehicle like this is going to handle. Even though it has a nice wide stance on the road, It's somewhat heavy, and it's really great for straight line. Now, that doesn't mean you couldn't track this car on a road course, or that we couldn't have taken the corner back there a little bit faster. I have taken that corner, as you know, if you watch me regularly, at much higher speeds in SUVs. But this is a little bit of a different situation here. I'm not sure how well it would handle that, but even through that, very stable. This is a comfortable little car. The suspension is a little bit on the stiff side. Of course, I did change it to sport, as you saw me do earlier on the screen. But when it's all said and done, the steering is good. I can tell that this car was not abused by the previous owner, and here's a couple of ways you can tell that. You can tell by how the car tracks, even though I'm not going to do it just yet. Let's just take a minute here. All right, we're going to let somebody pass us here. Let's see, it's pulling a little bit to the right, but that might just be me. But you want to make sure it tracks good and straight. Also, how do the brakes feel? That is really important. Even though, yeah, you can fix that, you can change the brake pads and do all that good stuff. But if you're going to buy a used car that has, it's almost 5 years old, it has a little over 18,000 miles on it, it was likely taken care of and not driven very often. And even though that shift right there was a pretty aggressive shift, I must say that it didn't feel like it was a problem, so to speak. There's a difference between high performance and something's wrong when it comes to the way the transmission shifts. So that tells me that's another plus right there. And of course, just the way the car steers and goes down the road overall, it's very easy, it tracks good and straight. And the fact that the interior is so clean, whoever had this, I don't think they went around stepping on it too hard. And, you know, obviously, you're going to want to do that a little bit. That actually will help your car to run better instead of just kind of babying it. I remember somebody brought an AMG model into the local Mercedes dealership, one of their high-performance Mercedes-Benz vehicles, and it wasn't running right. And the mechanic that looked at it basically said, "You're just not driving this car hard enough." So when it was all said and done, it's okay to get on it every once in a while. It doesn't mean you want to go out and drive it to the maximum capabilities all the time, because when you do trade it in, you want to make sure that the next owner is going to get a nice vehicle and you're going to get more money for your trade. This particular model is selling, I believe, for a little over $53,000. I don't really know what the average in the market for a Hellcat like this would be, but not bad. So we're going to run down here and do one more little pull. But I have to say, if you're looking for a used Hellcat and you found one in this range, or if you want to come buy it from Land Rover of Shreveport, where I got this one today, well, I think you'd be in pretty good shape. And I'm just rolling into the throttle, basically. Just rolling into the throttle a little bit there. Now we're starting to get a few raindrops. I'm trying to beat the rain today, guys, but I can tell you what, I'd say, based on my experience in driving this Hellcat today, that a used Hellcat, a used 2016 Hellcat, would be an excellent buy as far as if you're looking for a used vehicle to have a little fun with. So I'd like to thank my friends at the dealership today for loaning me this vehicle for the day, and all of you for taking the time to watch. If you enjoyed this video, guys, make sure to check out what's on the screen right now and watch another video. I appreciate your support and your time, and tell me what you want to see me feature on here, and if I can get my hands on it. Sometimes that's a little harder to do. If I can get my hands on what you want me to feature, I will definitely do that. I appreciate your time, guys, and look forward to seeing you in my next video.